All right, welcome back, everyone. I am the Dungeon Master, and today we are rejoining the party of Dragons of the Frozen Seas. Uh, Kex appears to have wandered off with his low wisdom score, but the party has no time to deal with him as they are desperately in search of Veter, who was last seen falling into the frozen seas as the ice shelf collapsed beneath the Emperor Walrus. And so now, unable to locate him for almost a full day, they are desperately looking for any tracks. The last time they were out searching, they were encountered by some very huge and vicious squirrels. But as Eric was examining the area, he managed to find some footprints. The footprints, paw prints, I should say, of a juvenile, though much larger than a baby, polar bear being followed by some kind of ox or other cloven hooved animal, and the bear seems to be running from it. And so the party picks up their pace and begins to jog after the possibly frightened Veter, assuming that it's Veter. But you guys are wounded slightly, exhausted a little bit, not too bad, some of you more than others. And so if you want to maintain this pace, we're all going to have to make vigor checks, or you can slow it down, but then of course things are happening in real time here, so how long it takes you to get there depends on how fast you move, and that can be a big difference.
Scotty suggests, let's try to pick up the pace. We'll do our best to catch up. If it's too hard, we can't, but let's do our best.
Agreed. We can always take a short rest when we get tired as well.
Yeah, we're gonna keep up.
At,
How old are the tracks?
the tracks are no more than a few hours at most, as the snow has not had time to completely fill them in. Scotty, as you say that, a voice in the back of your head, a thought, a memory, speaks to you, and you remember Jalivy growing up being, very unathletic and unable to keep up when you guys would do sports.
Well, there is that.
Well, it should
Have we seen any places where we could safely leave Jilivy and find her and she'll be alive when we get back?
Jalivy, we know you got left the last time by the tribe, but we promise we'll be back.
Just cast one of those floating disc things and keep on trucking.
How long does that last?
I don't know.
Yeah, one of those floaty disc things should work.
I think it's an hour. Or it might be an hour per level.
I think it's an hour per level.
If it's an hour per level, that gets you 4 hours.
We should be caught up by then.
That your magic might do it, Jilivy.
Yeah.
But of course, that only allows you to move at your speed. You can't actually run or jog or anything with that.
Whatever, I'll just keep up as I can.
Yep, 1 hour per level.
Well, I guess we need to get moving then.
I'm gonna
roll perception as we're going, so
I don't
try
have
to see what I see.
I don't have very many spell points. I'm gonna just try and keep up.
All right, so then everybody needs to roll a vigor check. Well, hold on, Eric. We're not quite there yet. This is the map you guys are heading towards as you jog.
Constitution.
Vigor check. You click on your token, and then there's a vigor check.
What do we beat?
Basically 0. Because you guys all still have stamina left. The only exception is if you fail somehow, like Ulf did, then you lose 1 stamina. Because you guys aren't actually running, it doesn't cost you 1 stamina, but because you're jogging, it will if you fail. The only way to fail, though, is to roll a 1, basically, right now. You guys are, adventurers, so you're good to go. All right, so Ulf, you're a little more out of breath than you expected. Must be all the tobacco you've been using and all the coffee you've been drinking must have gotten you a little out of shape. You make a mental note to yourself to do a couple more crunches the next time you have some downtime. Or that. It wasn't trying to take control of your character for you. You absolutely can decide that. So, as you guys jog on, who wants to double check the tracks and make sure that you're headed the right way?
That would be me. Any assistance is A-okay.
So
I will.
you're gonna roll for survival to check tracks.
That is like the lowest I can roll.
Almost, yeah. But you do see that there is some blood next to some of the tracks.
And I taste it and roll knowledge nature to see what the F it is.
I don't think you can tell the difference between what blood is by tasting it, but I'm not going to stop you. It tastes salty.
No iron. Weird. I'm just fucking with you.
Yeah. You guys watch as Ulf tastes the blood and he holds a finger up to the air and says, "They're no more than an hour ahead." But he probably is just bullshitting.
No, that's exactly what I do.
I look at it quizzically and just shake my head.
Eric, as you examine the blood spots, you can tell that the bear is bleeding and running now at a full sprint.
Guys, we gotta hurry. This is the bear's blood. It could be Victor's. Let's move.
Is there any other tracks mixed with his?
Yes, the cloven-hooved pursuer continues to follow and has picked up its pace as well.
Yep,
oh, hold
we're
on,
picking
Olaf.
up pace.
Not yet. Not yet. I'll let you guys know when you can start exploring the map. We're not there yet. We're in a chase to get there. Ulf's like, I'm gonna go check out what's up there. I'll scout ahead. So now here's where things get, you know, different. Because if you guys want to pick up the pace and start running, it's going to cost you 1 stamina per round that you run.
And that's only 10 seconds.
Yeah, more or less.
Yeah, I'm not doing that.
All right. Well, let's go for a brisk jog in the cold air then.
All right. So to jog the rest of the way, it's going to take 3 consecutive vigor checks, and if any of you fail, you're going to lose 3 vigor, not just 1. So all you have to do is avoid rolling a 1.
Two plus one is three.
Oh, Jalivi, you actually do have a difficulty class of 1 you have to beat.
Well, I did it. Plus, I had the +1 modifier finally because I got Constitution. So
Yeah.
I'm fine.
2 more though.
Two more vigor rolls.
And then we just need Scotty. There you go. Jalivi manages to dig down deep, and despite a slight cramp in her side, she musters through, remembering all the times that she got left out of the games and sports by others because she was too small and too weak and exhausted to keep up with the vigorous other, members of her tribe. And she just musters through it and perseveres. Heart of a champion.
How fitting.
You there, Scotty?
Guess not. Guess we stop.
Scotty seems to be experiencing her momentary paralysis that she was going through weeks ago, and is stopped suddenly. You guys turn around and see her standing there and go over to get her moving.
Livy, maybe you can stick Scotty on the floating disc and drag her along.
That would slow you guys down, though.
Did it slow us down?
Because you can only move at your speed. So you would only be able to move 30 feet around or 60 feet around with a double move. Whereas with the jog action, you guys can actually hustle at like 2 times your speed. You there, Scotty? Test, test. All right, well, I am going to roll for him just to get this part
Yeah,
over with.
go ahead and roll.
There we go. So everybody manages to make it, and now you guys come to where the tracks are very fresh and the blood is very thick, and there is a cliff about 20-25 feet in height, and it leads down into a box canyon. There are snow-covered pine trees blocking your view, but you can see the tracks clearly go this way, And everybody roll for perception. Eric, you hear Viter crying out, desperately seeking for help. You recognize the sound of your companion instantly.
Guys, that's Vitor up ahead.
You gonna cast Detect Animal, Bear.
Scotty would like to get Star up in the air, giving us some aerial view.
Oh yeah, here let
No,
me grab
no,
Star.
Scotty decides it's too cold and extreme for Star. Star will just stay close.
Okay. So as you cast Detect Animal Bear, you can tell that there is a bear within like 100 feet.
This seems like the time to make a lot of noise, friends. Distract whatever has Vitor in trouble.
Vitor! I call out.
As you call out, Viter cries out, desperately asking you to come to him.
And he's to the west?
He is to the northwest.
Northeast.
Northeast. West. I'm sorry. Yeah, northwest.
Yep, gonna maintain the spell and keep going that direction.
Yep.
All right, so you guys are
Alright.
free to explore this map now.
It looks as if we can move directly west. Is that right there?
Yeah. Yeah, that's a down slope that goes down into a box canyon.
Good ambush terrain, says Scotty to her friends as we go down into it. Perfect place to ambush us.
Direction was it again?
Northwest, up into the box
Northwest.
canyon. Eric, as you round that tree, roll for perception.
Guys, I'm having a little trouble with roll 20. Scotty is going to stay right next to Eric and Ulf. And Jill,
I will move
Sounds
you
I
up
good.
there.
cannot move my token independently.
Okay.
I will move you up there, no worries.
Oh, it just came back.
Oh, good.
Do I see anything?
Indeed, you see as a huge, hulking, man-shaped creature with a bull's head and a huge hunchback steps out from behind the tree and rolls for initiative.
And it got very, very close before we saw it, right?
Oh yeah, it was hiding behind the tree.
Yep, ambush situation.
Oh, why you gotta roll so good for your stealth and so bad for your initiative, Minotaur? So the Minotaur does not get a surprise round, but you guys, are definitely surprised. You know what I mean? Like, oh my god,
Yeah.
there's a huge beast in front of us.
Yeah, I'm gonna charge and splat this fucker.
That's what he said.
So Scotty won initiative, it looks like.
Indeed.
And is this creature armed, or does it look like it'll charge us with its great horns?
It looks like it's capable of either, as it is carrying a massive axe as well as armed with huge horns coming out of the side of its head. It looks almost more like an auroch than a true bull.
Got it. And what is that thing right there? Is that a rock or a tree? What is that?
I believe that's a rock.
Guys, we need to use the terrain to our advantage here.
Yes.
Yes. Scotty is going to cast a spell. She casts Bull's Strength in response to this bull creature and puts it on herself, I think, not Ulf this time.
All
So
right.
Scotty casts Bull's Strength on herself, and then she would like to move a short distance to a place where it'll be crowded. It looks like right there underneath that tree, it would be very crowded and would have to squeeze past the rock to get to her. Is that right?
To an extent. I mean, you have to understand that it would squeeze on the left-hand side there, the west side, more so than the right, because that's a rock and a cliff right there that it would have to squeeze past. Whereas, just being in the tree, it would give you partial cover, so there is that as well. So
She'll back up to there and say, "Brace for a charge! It's coming at us! Try and get it in a tight spot."
And then don't forget to add your +4 strength to your sheet so that it automatically adds the extra damage.
Will do. We're gonna have to kill this thing. Done.
Don't forget to end turn.
Thank you. It's totally what I forgot.
All right. I'm gonna cast Ray of Stars, even if I think I think if it should daze it, even if I miss, or at least have a chance to daze it.
Is that one of its abilities? Is daze? I didn't know that. But yeah.
I think so. I don't remember. It's something.
Maybe Dazzle.
Dazzle.
Okay, so just under attacks, roll a basic ranged attack.
Okay.
And you can get there right through your token as always. Yeah. Okay. So, although your ray comes close, the Minotaur dodges out of the way just in the nick of time, and it fails to strike it.
Has a touch AC greater than 11?
Oh, wait. No, I'm sorry. I looked at the wrong number. Oh my god. Thank you. I looked at the flat-footed, not the touch. I was like, oh, 14, that's pretty good. Nope. Touch attack. As the Minotaur goes to dodge out of the way, you strike it on its arm. The magical spell does 1 arcane damage, and I don't see any other effects.
All right, I might have got it mixed up with something else.
Does it come from whatever your magic school special?
Magic School is evocation dazzle. If it's evocation, I think you get a dazzle. I think.
It is evocation. Yeah. So it's dazzled, which means that it takes -2 on its attacks, I believe, due to being slightly blinded.
Okay, yeah. See, I knew it had dazzle somewhere.
Well done, Jalevi.
So I'm
Thank you.
gonna retcon my description to say that as it strikes it in its arm, a beam of light bounces off of its skin right into its eyes. Because I'm the DM and I can do that.
Yep.
Get back from it.
Your turn, babe.
Yeah, it's my turn. I didn't move, so I'm good.
Do I have room for a charge attack?
Well, I think that it's got to be 10 feet minimum, so like just barely, but it might be 20 feet minimum, which technically no. But I would say that, like, yeah, you can charge.
You can take a 5 foot. You can take a little step back and then go.
Nah. Shield bash it is. Oh well.
Yeah, so as you try to slam into the Minotaur, you find that he is much thicker and bulkier than you could have ever anticipated, even for a creature of his size. His muscle density and bone structure is just astounding, and you kind of come to a stalemate. The Minotaur looks down at you, and with an evil, sharp-toothed grin, it attacks you. And then as it goes to swing with its second axe, as you guys know, I don't do the critical failure where like something catastrophic happens, but he was about to gore you, but his backswing takes him completely out of position and is unable to do so. This actually hits your shield first for the 17 damage, so it only takes off your vigor. Yeah, you're welcome. I mean, I know it ain't great losing vigor, but...
Yeah.
Also, your shield has a huge axe gouge out of it now.
That's what it's there for.
Okay, so if I move behind that rock, I should still have line of sight because of its size, huh?
Yeah, I mean, you can kind of like peek around the edges and stuff. It is about, you know, your height as far as like a rock goes. It's pretty big, but...
Don't forget his negative attack. I don't know how long it lasts. I forgot.
-2. Yeah. I'm pretty sure 20 still hit.
I mean, for next.
You can circle around the rock and then flank it.
And it looks as if the Minotaur completely stayed in place, locked down. Good job.
Yeah, there should be a line of sight there.
Depends on what you want to do.
Okay, I'm gonna move behind that rock a little bit to kind of get into that narrow space, and then I'm going to cast Water Jet on.
Okay.
He's using the environment to his advantage because if the Minotaur is all wet, it should theoretically take cold damage each round. but you can't mess with this Minotaur, as he easily dodges out of the way of your jet of freezing water. Oh, but he still gets splashed with half. Take that, you stupid Minotaur.
All right. And that's going to be my turn.
It doesn't have the damage roll?
Hang on.
And you're a 4th level caster, so it would be 4d6. So just roll 4d6 for now, and we'll make sure we get that fixed.
Okay, so I rolled a 12 on it. So since he made his reflex save, he takes half that.
Which he did, and he also took double vigor damage for it being so cold.
And done.
First, Scotty calls upon her brawler, her training as a brawler, and uses martial flexibility to get power attack.
Ah,
Then
gotcha.
she takes a 5-foot step up.
Hold on 1 second. I'm sorry, Eric. I didn't realize that you were calling that a rock. That's a bush.
Oh, okay. Well, that's fine. We'll roll with it.
And Scotty comes up and skewers the thing with her long spear, trying to stab deep into its heavy body.
As the Minotaur tries to block your spear with its great axe, you deftly use your warrior skills to spin around and stab it right in the leg, dealing 14 points of damage.
And Scotty is very much caught up in the fight and does not think to use her magic to try and put it to sleep. She just wants to kill the thing.
Is it me now?
As soon as Scotty
When I
clicks end
remember to
turn.
hit done, it is.
Yep.
I can't tell if she interned.
No, I keep forgetting to press done.
All right. Genevieve decides to do magic missile. I think I still have spell points for it.
You do.
Coming to the aid, Genevieve throws magic missiles at the Minotaur, knowing that they'll hit and hoping they do enough damage to make a difference.
Several star-shaped missiles fly out from your hand and strike the Minotaur. They don't do a whole lot of damage, but they hit him. Don't ask how you know it's a him.
All right, I'm done.
grunting as I take the blow on my shield, deflecting it across the Minotaur's body. I take a 5-foot step towards his backside, forcing him to turn towards, give his back to me or to my allies.
Oh, yay!
And then I
flanking him.
hunker down behind the shield and drive into him.
Again, you find the Minotaur just too large and powerful to properly shield bash.
So he's staying facing me.
He is.
Alrighty. Because I think that would have hit otherwise. We should be getting Scotty's flag carrier bonuses.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely don't think he faces me. I know that.
He does indeed take a 5-foot step and then attempts to trip you. So I believe that beats your CMD, so you are now prone.
Alright, is there... I don't know if I get anything.
No, it's just a CMB versus your CMD, I believe. Yeah, sometimes it's CMB versus CMB, like for opposed rolls and everything, but a trip is pretty straightforward. But that was now his standard action, so it is no longer his turn.
All right.
I see Vitor to the north, calls out Scotty.
Hopefully, we can get to him in time.
Or he can get to us in time.
I'm going to call out toward to Vitor.
You need to tell him to stay where you are, Vito. We're coming for you.
Handle animal to have him come or stay. You tell me if he's coming or staying.
If he doesn't have improved trip, I might get an attack of opportunity. That was my question.
Oh yeah, no, he doesn't have improved trip.
So
Hey. He's just out of Scotty's reach, huh?
Because he took a 5-foot step, yes. And is it an attack of opportunity? Yeah, I believe you're right. Yep.
Alright, which is definitely going to be the shield bash, so we'll see what happens.
Finally managing to bash him as he goes to trip you, you slam into him, but his great axe reaches out behind your legs and pulls you off your feet.
See, so I see how the bull rush works out.
Just out of character, so you know, I never got any equipment or anything. She's like unequipped.
Uh-oh.
Clearly, she has lots of equipment and is well geared. It's just not listed.
So do we possibly knock each other down?
I'm doing the math.
Keep in mind, since he did a bunch of damage, it would be, nothing.
Okay, so it is a 22 versus his CMD. Oh, you beat it. Yes. Somehow, as he goes to pull your feet out from under you, you slam into him so hard that he also falls to the ground.
A great heaving tangle.
Yeah, it's still probably going to beat his CMD, but let's check.
Well, he's got a 21 versus 22, I think.
No, yours.
Oh yeah, he definitely beats mine.
Oh, nope. He actually failed by 2. So you are actually no longer prone, and he is. Instead, as the Minotaur goes to trip you, you shield slam him and knock him straight to the ground. Feeling very powerful at this moment.
Oh, good job, Ulf.
Ulf starts flexing. Ooh, yeah, brother!
All right. Eric is going to close into melee range and draw his quarterstaff and attempt to attack the Minotaur with it.
Kick him while he's down, why don't you?
Yes, please do.
Would you guys stop picking on my bull?
And Eric is also going to attempt to power strike as well.
And I think an extra +1 from Flagbearer.
Yeah, and it would have hit anyway, especially with his -4 against melee attacks right now. Unfortunately, you just didn't get a whole lot of strength into it, and so you only deal 6 damage.
+1 for Flagbearer.
Ooh, it's damage too, thank you.
Yes, it's +1 to hit and damage on all of our attacks. Scotty sees the Minotaur is vulnerable. It's on the ground. She's going to move in a little bit on it with a 5-foot step to get in reach, not let it get away, and skewer it while it's dead. Ooh, a natural 22 hit. And how do we confirm? How does that work?
There is no crit confirm.
Oh, so it's an automatic critical?
Yes, sir.
That's 50 points of damage then.
Yes, it is. So,
Ow.
as the Minotaur lies on the ground, dazed from being knocked down by what it considered such a small, puny opponent, it looks up as Scotty rushes in with her spear, takes careful aim, and skewers it right through its neck, up through its head, killing it instantly.
Well done.
Nice work, Scotty.
Good teamwork there. I could not have done that alone.
All right, we should go get Victor.
I agree.
Scotty delivers a follow-up blow to make even two of them to make sure it's very, very.
Well,
Double dead.
you could tell from the way you skewered it that it was for sure dead, but yeah.
She double taps it anyway.
Oh yeah.
She's had problems in the past
Like,
with her. With
the
her
Minotaurs are
life-channeling thing.
humanoids, so check and see if there's anything that we can use from him.
Agreed, Jillivi. Let's rescue Vitor first and heal everybody.
Yeah, how far off is Vitor?
He's like 50 feet up. He's
I will go. I'll put Vitor if he can't walk. I can if we to keep the I can put him on the thingy.
I'm gonna roll perception when I get to the open.
Well, I mean, I should be able to see him with the detect animal spell.
Yeah,
I'm gonna roll perception anyway.
yeah, I mean, you guys can see him. He's cowering behind a rock, bleeding badly from wounds that you are unsure where they all come from because he's got, a lot of fur and the blood's all over the fur, so like you can't tell, but there is blood actively dripping from him. He is laying on his side, curled up in almost a fetal position and crying and whimpering.
Once we're close enough, we're all in 30 feet. Scotty is going to call upon the air and the fire and the sun and the moon and channel invigorating life energy to every. Probably 2 or 3 times. We'll see.
I can put him on the thingy and we can go if we need to.
He
Doesn't
is
heal enough.
way more than 100 pounds.
First channel gets us all
300
12
pounds.
Oh, it's
12
300?
vigor and 6 health.
Yep, 12 vigor and 6 health for everybody.
I'm not wounded. I'm just winded from the fight of muscling around that beast.
Yeah, I mean,
How's Vitor looking after that?
that was an intense fight. So Vitor, you can tell that the magic of your divine channeling has, semi-divine, has healed his wounds. He is no longer bleeding, but he is still covered in blood and very weakened.
All right. How much vigor again? I'm sorry.
12.
Everyone gets 12 vigor plus 6 health if you need it. And I think she's going to do that again since Vitor is still in a bad way.
Oh yeah.
And Eric is gonna cast Cure Light Wounds on Vitor.
So that's 10 more from the second channel.
So 20 vigor, right?
Yeah, basically full vigor. For most of you. Jillivi has 912 vigor. She suddenly found her cardio.
Eric, give him some of the good berries we got. OOC.
We do have some good berries, don't we?
Unless you left them with the dead squirrel.
Oh, hell no. We took them with us.
Well, we may have roasted one of the squirrels with a good berry in his mouth, but that was just one of them.
Yeah, I'm going to feed all of the good berries to, I'm going to feed 3 of them to Vitor and see how he looks after that.
Well, they only
We
heal
had 6
one
up.
hit. They only heal 1 hit point each, so.
Okay, well, in that case, I'm going to feed them all to him then. We had 6 of them, if I'm not mistaken.
Correct. Yeah, he's pretty much up, I mean, he's not 100%, but he's good to go.
All right. I think could I should clean the blood off of him. I'm gonna clean up his fur.
And I give him a hug and pat him on the head. Tell him I'm glad he's okay.
Using what are you gonna clean him with?
Okay.
I'm gonna start walking back to the Minotaur body and inspect it.
Well, can I use the servant to clean him?
Well, what is the servant gonna use?
There might be some water left over from that water jet on the Minotaur's hide.
When we make camp, if we start a fire, we can clean them then, but I wouldn't worry about it.
Okay. Well, fine. I go pat him on his back and say, "Glad you're okay, buddy."
Viter purrs softly as you guys are loving on him.
We're in a canyon right now.
Yeah.
Let's search our fallen foe.
Yes.
Yes.
Jillivy, you suggested we might be able to. We'll see what we can get off the body. He might even be worth skinning for his pelt.
I tell Viter to come and stay with us.
Perception and appraise, or just appraise?
Hold on. He is tight up against your leg right now, Eric. Like he is almost knocking you over, trying to lean into you.
Really humping.
He's not trying to hump. He's trying to make himself feel secure again.
Yep.
I pat him on the head.
He paws at your hand, trying to keep your hand on him.
You should tackle and pin him and then, give him a headlock. Noogie.
As you do so, he submits to you and puts his tail between his legs and crouches down and just tries to nuzzle into you.
Give him the Zorbit. I cheer.
Inside joke.
Yeah.
All right, so the first thing you're going to want to roll in order to search the Minotaur is perception, just to see if there's anything obvious on him. Ulf, as you are looking over your fallen foe, you notice his hulking axe, which is, way too big for any of you to wield efficiently, but it's still a huge piece of equipment. But you also notice that he has a small pack tied to his waist.
Gonna take it and open it up in front of everybody else. Carefully. Slowly.
Inside,
perception.
You find a hunk of meat that has been chewed on by the Minotaur. You also find a finger containing a ring. Containing? No. Wearing? Yeah, wearing a ring.
Alright, I'm gonna do detect magic and see if that ring is magical.
So Jillivy, as you cast detect magic, there is no magic, but upon looking at it further, you do recognize it as the ring, the craftsmanship of someone of your tribe.
Alright, this Minotaur, I look at it, study it carefully, and say, this Minotaur has been preying on our people, Scotty. I am so glad we killed it. They must have gone this way.
Indeed, maybe we can follow its tracks back to find them.
Can I
Know
roll
where its lair?
Can I roll a survival check to see how old the finger is?
That would be a medicine check, I believe.
Medicine? Okay. Well, I'll roll it anyway.
I'm gonna roll it too. Maybe nature, decompose.
Yeah, but because humans are a little different from like wild animals and everything, it's usually, you know. But yeah, I think I would allow your nature to work in this case.
Okay,
Although
I'm gonna.
with the 19, you can tell that this finger, although preserved slightly by the freezing temperatures, has definitely not been severed for more than a day or two.
So it's still fresh. All right.
Eric, you're pretty sure that this is a toe.
How can you even tell it's a finger, Ulf? This looks like a toe to me.
Here, do a taste test.
Why would somebody have a toe ring though? Anyway.
Finish checking the Minotaur for anything else of value. I'm gonna appraise the great axe, just see if it's something special and all the other equipment.
Yeah. So as you check over the Minotaur, aside from its enormous phallus and the pack on its waist, it only has the axe.
I kind of want to take the Minotaur's horns as a trophy.
The phallus would be easier to cut off.
You
I'll
do have
take that, says Scotty. You have the horn. And she carves off its phallus and takes it as a trophy.
It is as big as your arm.
Well, we know what she's eating for dinner tonight.
Eric looks on as Scotty does this and just in complete bewilderment.
By the way,
And then he gets
I'm not trying to be gross here. Like, this really was a common practice for like a lot of ancient societies.
Absolutely. Historically, you are exactly right.
Yeah, but it was supposedly used for cures, all kind of weird.
And
Body
just straight up trophies.
Yeah, but some of them tried to use it for medicinal purpose, weird body parts. Ugh.
You want me to try and petrify that for you?
Oh my god.
we can make a mold of it.
Jillian looks at both of you in horror and blushes.
Hey, that's going above her throne when she gets married.
Absolutely, it is. And Scotty says, well, Jillivy, I can share it with you if you want.
No comment.
Nah, you can have it. You did the final blow. You definitely deserve it. Besides, maybe Hafnir will love it.
Yes, it'll go above our thrones, yes.
I'm pretty sure Hafnir needs to pair balls on him.
Because then he can pretend.
You should
Then he
take
can
those
pretend
too.
that he killed it.
Oh, he for sure will.
Absolutely. I think I'll give it to him as a wedding gift. And yes, he can pretend he took it himself.
Yeah. Okay.
And
I know I'm going to take a selfie with the Minotaur, blah, blah, blah. I'm actually going to look for tracks to see if we can find the lair of this bloody thing,
Yes,
or
we
tracks lead to people.
should
And
find a safe lair, and if we can find his lair, we need to. Well, I don't have any spell points, so.
And while they're doing that, I'm busy trying to cut the horns away from the Minotaur's flesh.
Yeah, we'll deal with that in a second. The appraise on the axe, though, again, it seems far too large for any normal person to wield, so it's hard to get an accurate. Go ahead.
But can he carry it?
Oh yeah, no, it's not uncarryable. It's just like, it's a huge piece of wood with a huge axe head on the top. Like, it's really hard to wield it as a weapon, but you can carry it. Um, but again, because it's not sized for anybody that could use it that you know of, it's really hard to get an accurate assessment of its value. Although once you start to think about the large bear folk, you start to think that maybe, just maybe, you could get,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The
two.
bear folk could probably use it, or if some of our half giant tribesmen might.
You think you could probably get like 200, 250 gold pieces worth of rations for it.
Yeah, I'll bring it.
Just because it is, such a huge weapon, and they didn't seem to have, weapons of this caliber.
Cool. We can give them as a gift after we get back from doing their errand, which we still haven't done.
Although, Eric, you should probably roll knowledge nature, because you might just know a little bit about minotaurs. Minotaurs?
Minotaur.
I've actually got a +9 in nature, so you want me to roll too?
Yeah, go ahead and roll too.
For sure. Sorry about that. Ulf, you tell Scotty, oh, I heard that Minotaur phallus can give you eternal life. And
It can give you eternal something. We'll just have to find out when we get to shelter.
Eternal life if you live for the D.
and Eric, you don't know much about Minotaurs that you can recall right now, but you do remember specifically that because of their, massive hands and low intelligence scores, they are not great craftsmen. This axe seems to be of far better quality than you would ever expect a Minotaur to have.
Somebody must have given that axe to him, or he must have taken it from somebody.
From a half giant. Or a bear.
Or
Quite
maybe
possible.
it's working for the frost giants.
I think that's plausible, actually.
Friends, let us leave this place. We need to get back to shelter, then we can follow its track.
If we leave the tracks, are they gonna still be there?
Well, I mean, you guys have been pursuing him for a few hours, and the snow falls constantly here, so,
No tracks. Oh well. Still, we know where he came from, so we know the direction. Shall we go back up our trail and find some shelter, friends?
I do think that's a good idea, yes.
Does it look like there'd be any caves nearby around here?
Well, I mean, this is a lowland, like rising into the mountains kind of area, so, like, yeah, there's all kinds of little nooks and crannies as far as what could be considered a proper cave. Who knows?
Don't really need a proper cave, just want kind of a sheltered area, and we can probably just build a lean-to and shelter up for the.
I
Do we
roll
have
a
time
knowledge
to make it
geography.
Okay.
back to our village.
Is there like a well-worn path that he might take like a lot, that would help us find where his cave is?
Well, there's snow everywhere.
I roll a knowledge geography to see if we can see if I know of anything that we could use as shelter nearby.
Well, you do know the old standby of sheltering underneath a pine.
Are there any particularly good ones here? There are many trees about. Is there a tree that's just the right size with a shelter underneath it that's all covered in snow, just perfect?
There's not a perfect one right here, but you guys can search around for one.
Let's search around and find a perfect one. Go ahead, Julie V.
It's survival, Ulf.
With the rest of us helping Ulf. Yeah, okay.
I find a palace.
Yeah. So
Does he
as
find an abandoned igloo?
yeah. So as Ulf is searching around for a pine tree that you guys can all shelter under, he manages to find a rare, giant redwood style pine tree that has been completely hollowed out but only has a small crack to enter. Inside, it is essentially a small house. It's huge and round and completely blocked from all but the slight breeze coming through the crack that can be easily covered up.
Are there already piles of needles and such providing beds? Has someone else
Yes, there is a huge nest in the far corner and a pile of large nuts in the main area.
We found the dire squirrel den.
What does it look like nested here?
Possibly a squirrel. But it's huge. Like the pile is as big as you guys.
It's the dire squirrel den.
So it's like the rabbit from Monty Python, only a squirrel.
I don't know what's in. I mean, are you asking me what's in the pile before you've inspected it, or I mean, it's a pile of leaves and needles and stuff like that. So it's just a big pile of stuff, but it's huge.
Yeah, inspect everything to see if I can tell what lives here.
Okay, so as you go up to the pile of nuts, you can see that it's assorted pine cones and nuts and even a few berries that have like kind of freeze dried in the temperatures here. And yeah, there's like a few castings, like shells and bits that weren't eaten, but not a lot.
Well, let's gather what we can here and set up at the redwood, and we'll make a fire outside the redwood to keep everything warm.
Gather a few of the berries and pocket them.
Yeah, and as you do so, you notice that some of them are as big around as your fist, some even bigger than that.
All right. Doesn't matter how many do I figure out how do I figure out how many I carry?
It's more about poundage at this point because, like I said, some are different sizes. So, 10, 20 pounds worth.
I don't need that many. I can't hardly
Excellent.
carry that
We'll
anyway.
load- Yeah,
I'm gonna
let's
get-
load 'em around.
I'm gonna get about 3 pounds worth because I'm weak.
Yeah.
We'll take it all.
Yes.
All right. And then does anybody go up to the nest?
Oh yeah, I still haven't figured out what lives here, so I'm going to check out the nest.
All right. So now you go. I mean, I assumed you'd go up to the pile of nuts first, and then so now you can roll to check out the nest.
Perception, nature.
Nature. So you can tell that this is some kind of rodent, but this is a rodent bigger than anything you could possibly imagine. It is definitely a rodent of unusual size, to say the least. And it is it is quite possibly several hundred pounds and bigger than a man.
When we make up for the night, we'll set a trap on the entrance, and I'll keep guard as always.
Yes, maybe it'll come back and we can have some tasty meat tomorrow.
Eric, as you examine the nest, you think to yourself, clearly, this is the nest of a large bird.
Fried chicken. Maybe we'll get some chicken out of this,
Yeah.
or
Maybe
perhaps
some
a
chicken toes, huh?
Turkey.
giant turkey.
Which way did we move to find this Palace of a Nest?
To the north.
All right.
And now everybody roll for perception. Scotty, Eric, as you guys are setting up, you begin to hear faint whimpering sounds, not coming from Vitor.
Let's look around. I think there are abandoned mouse babies here.
As you look around in the nest where the sound is coming from, you find 3 all white squirrels that are just babies that are bigger than the dire squirrels you encountered.
What's Vitor's opinion of them?
Vitor is still a little shooken up from everything and is just clinging to Eric.
So, Scotty says they'd probably make good adopting and they'd probably make good eating.
I'm gonna see if I can tell what they are, inspect.
Is that a adopt them and then eat them type of scenario?
No, that would be uncivilized. said
I think
Scotty.
she's
One adopt-
suggesting that you could try and make a new companion out of one of those squirrels because there's babies, or you can kill them and eat them. It's your choice.
Can always eat them later in the morning.
I do not approve of eating babies, no matter how big they are.
You've never had veal.
Well, you can have all the nuts the size of your fist.
Scotty looks to Irek and says, if they're, I might be willing to adopt one if we can. We have the nuts to feed. Do we think they're past the, do we think they eat that kind of food, or do they still need their mother's milk?
Well, they are mammals. And they it's hard to really tell how old they are because they're so big.
Well, whatever was around here, there's babies around here. The mother is probably not far off,
Or dead?
or dead. That's a possibility too.
Well,
How
Scotty
active
would
are these little critters?
They're babies, so they're just kind of like, squirming a little and making little like cries for milk. Actually, now is a chance for somebody to roll knowledge nature, because if you know anything about like when the eyes open and change color and all that, that might give you a clue as to how old they are.
Eric knows. Ulf knows some.
Yeah, yeah. Ulf is like, check their eyes. And Eric is like, yes, as you can see, their eyes are open, but are still the bright blue of a newborn baby. They are anywhere between 1 to 2 weeks old.
And can you tell also how long they've been left there? Are they abandoned, or are they just eager for their mother to return?
They're screaming for food. They must not have eaten within the last several hours at least.
See
Well,
if
we
they
don't
want
have any
nuts.
mother's milk.
And what are these things? They're giant squirrels or what?
Yeah, there's some form of monstrous squirrel that is even bigger than a dire squirrel.
We could grind up the nuts and make a paste, and maybe they'd eat that. Also, possibly I could make good berries that could feed them. Maybe.
I will give them one. I will give them one of my 3 pounds of berries. I think. Let's see. If they're. I'll give them each one, and that should take care of all of them. See if they eat it.
I think we should leave them put for now, and
I'm
see
still
what
gonna
if
eat
whatever.
it.
I think we should leave them put for now and see if whatever is its mother or father or whatever happens to come back in the time that we set up camp. It'd probably be very irritated and angry if we ate its squirrels and it came back. If we ate its babies, I mean.
Probably
Y'all
if it
set up.
comes back. Go ahead.
Y'all set up camp. I'm gonna do handle animal and see if they'll come to me.
But I think we should take some of the straw to make bedding for ourselves, though.
I was thinking we'd just sleep in their nest. They'll share.
Well, if whatever's this nest is home to comes back, it might not be happy if we're sleeping in it.
It'll probably attack us no matter what. But if its babies aren't hurt, that might be best.
Maybe it'll think that you're its babies.
Okay.
So
I will tell you.
as you're interacting with the squirrels, for the first time, they actually begin to crawl around and crawl towards you. However, they are incapable of eating any of the nuts or berries.
What if
Okay.
we grind? Let's try grinding up some of the nuts into a nut paste. See if that works.
Yes.
Although they cannot process and therefore spit out the nut paste, you find that some of the juice left behind from the grinding process they are eagerly lapping up from your wooden or clay bowls.
There we go. Let's do a little more of that. Give them the water, the pasty.
And we can take the paste for ourselves.
And mix it with water and grind it up as much as you can. Make a juicy paste. And while you guys do that, I'm gonna rig the entrance.
All right. I'm gonna have my servant do that.
Yeah, so the squirrels stop crying for their mother.
Is there room in the nest for
Oh, it's huge.
probably 3 of us at a time to?
Oh yeah, all of you can all curl up in there like no problem.
Well, yes, but we have to keep a guard.
Yeah, I'm just saying that like, the nest is massive.
All right. So my unseen servant starts helping Scotty and grind the stuff into paste.
Yes, it does. And at first, as they're getting the juice and then they want more, they cry loudly, but the unseen servant works quickly and efficiently, and you guys manage to give them a slurry of nut juice that keeps them calm and stops their crying.
All right. Well, are we sleeping in here or are we going back outside?
Is this the same place that the redwood is?
This is the redwood.
Okay. Yeah, let's set up shop here.
All right.
I'll get started on making a fire at the entrance.
Small protected fire outside the tree.
Yes.
Yeah, I get it. By the way, the ceiling in here is like at least 20-25 feet tall.
Well, we might be able
It
to
would have
fire
been fine.
inside then. Are the baby squirrels cold?
No.
Do they need one?
No, the nest is pretty warm and the tree, even though it's hollow, it's so thick that like we're talking thick insulated walls.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna get started making a fire. It'd probably be better if we did it inside the tree then, if it's that large.
If you have smokeless wood, go for it.
With all of the creatures in here, plus all of us, plus a tight space, do we warm it with just our body heat?
It's not that tight of a space, but it is naturally insulated from the wood and the snow covering outside and everything to where it is definitely warmer than what you would fear for your life. It's anywhere from 45 to 60 degrees in here.
Oh, great. We don't need a fire.
I mean, compared to the near sub-zero temperatures you've been dealing with outside, like this is like holy shit.
All right.
So no fire?
Unless you want to have one for, I mean, probably not.
If you have smokeless wood, then sure.
Unless you want one to help spot threats.
Nope,
Well-
it would just tell the threats where we are.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So no fire. Okay.
Well, you can do a fire in a small protected pit outside.
Whichever. Just can we get to the next stage?
Make coffee, rig the entrance, wake up, or not.
All right. I'll make a small fire outside. I'm gonna try to keep it small to keep the amount of smoke that it gives off small as well.
Then after you use it for whatever you're cooking and for coffee, we put it out.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna do.
So, I want you're on watch then, I assume.
I mean, I'm always on watch, but whoever wants to take a turn with me can.
Oh yeah, that's
I'm-
right, because
Plus
you
we-
have that.
Plus, recall the entrance is trapped to make a whole bunch of noise if anything comes and slow it down.
Yeah, what are you using to make the noise?
I'm probably just going to block the entrance completely.
Oh, just set up like a little meshed weave of sticks and everything and put it over it.
That, bar across it with that nice giant great axe and any other reasonably large objects that happen to be there, maybe a log or two across it.
Scotty will use her climber's kit for part of that, so that there's a metal dangly things that will fall and make noise if it's just.
Or you
Okay.
can just use the pittons to punch into the wood if it's soft. If I'm not really enthusiastic about damaging the tree, though, but we could fasten a rope across the entrance and a couple bars and whatnot to make it slow for anything and whatnot. And if I have time while I'm on guard duty, I'm just going to make a few arrows out of whatever's appropriate around here.
And yes, and everyone, if Mama does come home, I think the best thing we could do is hold up the babies or get behind the babies and show that they're not hurt and that we fed.
Or wear their skins and try and convince her that you're them.
There's another possibility.
Or kill it for breakfast.
All right.
Kill it as a lesson to the babies of what'll happen to them if they don't fall into line.
Pretty much. And I'll use my nature empathy to help that really sink in.
Yeah, I'll do wild empathy too.
So, anyway, I just want to make sure that I have this scene set exactly right. Right now, Jalivy, Scotty, and the three squirrels are inside being closed in by everything that you guys can somehow prop up, nail, or secure to the opening as possible. And Ulf, Eric, and Viter, who will not leave Eric's side, are outside starting a fire. And while Eric works with Viter on some more commands, Ulf is tending a fire and making some coffee and making some arrows? Or was that Eric who was making arrows?
We're not going to close off the entrance until after we've cooked dinner and had whatever drinks we want and hole in for the night. And I'll stand guard inside with the entrance blocked.
Okay. So
And I'm going to assist with making arrows, and maybe we can pull the Minotaur's teeth and wrap them in something, make it kind of like a tripwire to set up an alarm or something.
well, I don't know that the teeth would make enough noise, but you guys
Simon
will be
spikes.
allowed. You guys will be allowed to take some of the Minotaur's fangs retroactively. Oh, and I never got to the horn. You need to make a strength check, and it will ruin your blade of whatever you're using.
We'll use the axe for that, the big axe.
Okay,
Sounds good to me.
so if you use the big axe, you need to make a strength check and slam it down on the horns, and it'll chop it through, but it'll also ruin the axe.
Oh, not worth it, guys.
Okay, forget the horns.
I just wanted to be clear with you because it's a Minotaur's horns. They're very hard, like super dense.
You could just cut off the head.
You
Yeah,
could
let's
just
just
cut
do
off the
that.
head, yeah. Now you have a Minotaur head.
Awesome. This will make a great trophy.
And both
Who's
of the
gonna
horns.
carry it?
Yeah, it is pretty heavy.
It can't be heavier than the axe.
No, it is not heavier than the axe. Although pretty close to the same weight. I'd say, somewhere around 30 to 50 pounds. Considering a human head weighs like 8 pounds,
Yeah, it might not be worth it.
You can carry that probably. It's whether you want to.
Or you could cast your disc again. You have just enough left for one more casting.
I'd rather save that in case we get attacked. If we don't get attacked, then
You can drag it. You can just tie some ropes to it and drag it.
sounds good to me.
Too much noise. How heavy is it again?
30 to 50 pounds.
Check my encumbrance. I can probably just carry it.
Yeah, I mean, even if you're slightly encumbered, you guys aren't in a rush now. You'll find the tree, and now you guys are in the tree and all of that. I just wanted to make sure that I knew exactly, what the scenario was here because Eric being somewhat distracted and Ulf being somewhat distracted, you guys both need to roll for perception. Oh, and Scotty and Jalivi, you can also roll for perception because there is a reason that I might or might not reveal based on your rolls.
And are we currently in our warm resting place?
Yes.
And have we made arrows yet?
You were just starting to do everything. You got the food cooking, you are working with Viter, all of that. And Jalivi, you're so exhausted from the day's activities, even though you've gotten your stamina magically back, your mana, your spell points have been drained, and so you still feel, out of sorts. You're just kind of already like halfway to sleep. You're not asleep, but you're just like very relaxed. Ulf,
Okay.
or Eric, I'm sorry, you are just getting Veter to learn whatever new trick you wanted him to learn, and he was doing it, so you're distracted and don't notice. But Ulf, you look up and can see, and Scotty, you heard the telltale sounds of scratching and thudding from the outside of the tree, reverberating inside. Mama's home.
Mama's home. Everybody get behind the squirrels. Behind the babies.
Poke it with a spear when it comes through, or do you want it to live?
Let's see what
Let's
it does
try to
first.
make friends.
I'm gonna look at Eric like, hey, that's kind of your job.
All right. Well, I'm gonna attempt wild empathy on it when it comes up. Is it here yet?
It comes
Yes.
down the tree rapidly, but then sniffs and sees you guys.
All right. Eric is going to attempt wild empathy on it.
Don't you have speak with animal?
He does. Unless he, yeah, I think he does.
You should probably cast speak with animal. I try not to be so blunt, but this isn't a time to take your chances with whether or not you can communicate with the animal through like wild empathy.
Fair enough. Well, I don't seem to have a macro set up for it.
Oh, that's fine. Just say that you cast speak with
Yeah,
animals.
I'm casting speak with animal.
Okay.
So, as you cast speak with animals, suddenly you can understand the squirrel saying, "Get away from my babies!"
I tell the squirrel, your babies are safe. We fed your babies while you were gone. They're okay.
The squirrel leaps onto you and knocks you to the ground, holding you down with its paws. You can see massive teeth as big around as your head that could chop your head clean off like a giant parrot's beak. And it rears back and it says, "You harmed my babies?"
No, your babies are safe.
When did we let the squirrel in, or did he just come in?
He
No-
just came in.
No, no,
Why
no,
is
no,
he
no, no,
doing that?
no, no. Eric and Ulf are outside. The squirrel is outside,
No,
We
running down the
misunderstood.
running down the tree. They had started the fire outside and were doing what they were doing out there while you guys relaxed inside. So right now, the squirrel has Eric pinned down and is threatening him, but Eric needs to roll for diplomacy.
Okay.
Eric
Yep,
is
that's
yeah, right. Eric is not very diplomatic as he screams at the squirrel, "Your babies are safe. We fed them." But the squirrel now needs to roll for sense motive.
Any chance the rest of us could do something? Because Scotty would like to come out holding a squirrel if she can, holding a baby safe and fed.
Yeah.
that would be helpful. Please
Yeah.
do that. I motion over to Scotty. Please do that. That would be very helpful.
All right. So we'll both carry a squirrel out there. In supplication, we both carry one. We both coax the squirrels out and put them in front of us and say, He's trying to tell you the babies are good."
All right. So
And while that's going
As-
on, can I cast wild empathy?
yes. So as you guys do that, the squirrel can sense the movement and spins around, still holding one massive paw on Eric. But upon seeing you guys carrying her babies, she quickly rears up into an aggressive stance, threatening you. But as you set them down and back just a little bit away, making calming noises, combined with Eric's wild empathy, which now instead of just trying to talk to the squirrel, he uses his druidic nature, magic to enhance his ability to speak with the squirrel, and begins to speak to the squirrel in its own, language, which is, more than just the speak with animals. It's a part of, being one with the earth and everything. And so the squirrel sees her baby safe, sees that Eric is not a threat, runs forward and scoops up her babies and leaps over you guys into the nest, putting them back in the nest. And then, speaking with her babies and seeing that they're safe and sniffing them, she turns towards you guys and bows and says, "I thank you. I was delayed in getting back to them and can see that you have taken good care of them." Only Eric can understand her.
I asked the squirrel if they would mind if we all stay the night, because we need a place to stay. It's cold outside.
My nest is your nest. My berries are your berries. My nuts are your nuts.
And we thank you for it. What is the story with the Minotaur that was outside?
He was born to a savage Minotaur tribe that lives in the lowlands of the mountainous area where the ice giants and white dragons live. He grew up with a very strict and, harsh life where everything was about hunting and war, and they were basically used as frontline cannon fodder for the ice giants. He always needed to prove himself as the best, and soon became one of the lead scouts and hunters for his clan, his unit of minotaurs that worked in there. And so he was out one day hunting when he came across a injured polar bear that looked like an easy kill for fur and meat, and he went to go and hunt that before he was brutally attacked by a race of hairless monkeys that slaughtered him for no reason other than trying to live his life.
Oh, if you're referring to us as the hairless monkeys, the Minotaur attacked us first.
Yeah, because you were like running up on him.
So are there more? There's more Minotaurs out there? There's a clan of them then?
Oh, are you asking the squirrel?
Yes.
Oh, yeah. There's all kinds of dangers. In fact, it was being chased by one of the monsters that live in these mountains that delayed me. I was searching for nuts to build up my store for the long, long winter that is coming.
What was it that chased you?
It was a monstrous half dragon, half like manticore type creature.
And how did you get away from it?
I'm a squirrel, bitch.
Well played, well played.
All right.
Have you, by any chance, seen any other humans like us? Any other hairless monkeys like us?
Yes, indeed. there are many of you that headed north of here. Some of you were slaughtered by that Minotaur, but most of you made it north.
No, we're busy searching for Scotty's people right now, and I refer to. I point over to Scotty. We're searching for her people right now. They were attacked and driven from their village, and we're trying to find them right now. Do you by chance know where they went to?
Yeah, they went north. Past the Ice Fang Mountains.
Do you know what dangers are there along the way?
All of them.
And I pretty much convey everything to the rest of the party. Can anyone think of anything else to ask?
How recently did they go north? Maybe ask it that.
Just
How recently did they?
just 2 days hence.
Ask her how far, and if it's not too far, she can help lead us.
How far north, and is there any way that you could lead us there, perhaps?
I must care for my babies, but as the lord of all squirrels, I will instruct some of my fellow giant squirrels to carry you there.
And
Player to everybody. Wow, this is awesome.
and totally not talking to the squirrel here. This might not be the best time to mention the dire squirrels from earlier.
You know, circle of life and shit. I mean, she had no problem like biting your head off just a minute ago, so, you know.
Well, that's true.
Like fast ass, you know, monstrous opponents, like they are not just donkeys, like squirrels are incredible. So yeah, that's pretty much where we're gonna leave off for this week, because the next stage of the journey is you guys riding these squirrels north. So yeah, this is you know, gonna be a quick ride. They're very fast, and you know, we're gonna go ahead and go. And if it's okay with you guys, there's another game that would be going this month, and uh, I would like to switch the weeks so we can either go right away next week if it's possible for you guys, or we'll wait the 3 weeks. Let me know on Discord what you guys all want to do. Otherwise, I will be basically ready next week with the next part of this journey. So just let me know if you guys are able to go, and we will go from there. So yeah, this was a great session, and as always, guys, good gaming.
Good game.